Well, hello there, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. Thank God 2022 is done. It was kind of a rough year for me and others, but we got through it somehow, and we'll get through 2023. So the main subject of this video is my review of the McCartney Legacy, Volume 1, 1969 to 1973 by Alan Cousin and Adrian Sinclair. And I just wanted to quickly mention I got 2 more CDs yesterday. The Electric Light Orchestra, A New World Record. And a new album by Arthur Brown, Monsters Ball. I played this last night and it was excellent. I think it was released, it's a Halloween themed album that was released around Halloween. And a lot of special guests, including Ian Pace, Steve Hillage, James Williamson from the Stooges, Rat Scabbies, Nick Turner from Hawkwind. Of course, he sadly passed away last year. Already saying last year to 2022. It's kind of weird. Carmen Apex, is that how you pronounce his name? Apex. Brian Auger, James Williamson. And the bonus track is Carnival No. 9, First Impression Part 2, the Emerson, Lake and Palmer song. So my girlfriend Molly bought this for me as an early Christmas gift. I've had it for at least a couple of weeks, and I've been just going through it. As I've said before, when I read, I don't start at the beginning of a book to the end. I just go all over. I do end up reading all of it in time. But I will give you my thoughts on this. So this covers his solo career from McCartney to Band on the Run. And it includes, what I love about it is, first of all, you have to be a fairly serious fan because what this is, it goes into really large details about every song, and that's what I love. For the casual Paul McCartney fan, you might not enjoy this, but for a big Paul McCartney fan like me and a lot of you out there, I think you would really enjoy this. And throughout it has some pictures, but with Martha. So I'm not saying I'm a Beatles expert or a Paul McCartney expert, but, through the years, with interviews and everything, you do know quite a bit about Paul's solo career. But I've seriously learned a lot because, like I said, it goes into details. And so I marked one page, and I thought I would just read a little bit of it. And if you want to pause, throughout the book, it'll have these recording session things here. If you want to pause that and read it. And there's a lot of those throughout the book. So this is about, 1/3 of the way through the book, and we're still on the Ram era. And so I'll just read a couple of paragraphs here and you can get the gist of the book. Returning to Studio A1 on February 10th, Paul and Linda turned their attention to the vocals for Too Many People, starting with a lead vocal from Paul, which he then doubled and tripled before calling Linda to the microphone. Together they added backing to the ends of several lines, Piece of Cake and Lucky Break, for example. These additions seemed intended more to emphasize those lyrics than for purely musical reasons. They do not always occur at predictable points. When they reached the verse about John's preaching practices, he and Linda doubled the entire second line, "Don't let them tell you what you want to be." Paul and Linda also added an in-joke, a response to John's Rolling Stone interview. Instead of singing "Piece of Cake," they shout "Piss off cake" in the backing vocals, and Paul added the phrase on his own to the song's introduction. Yeah, there's quite a few black and white pictures throughout. And later on in the book, while McCartney and Wings were working full throttle to complete Red Rose Speedway in Studio 2, Pink Floyd were working in Studio 3 to complete their next album, The Dark Side of the Moon, a project that had been in the works nearly as long as McCartney's and had also been interrupted by touring. Alan Parsons had engineered most of the sessions for Dark Side and had made a mix in December, before the band decided to add new elements. With Parsons now occupied with Wings, Chris Thomas took over and made the final mix of the album. They were next door making Dark Side of the Moon, said Paul. The engineers were quite interchangeable, so an engineer that worked on their stuff would work on ours. And he did play us some of the Dark Side of the Moon stuff. For an hour or so, during the weekend of January 19th and 20th, Wings and Pink Floyd joined forces on Pink Floyd's turf when the latter were recording voices that would be woven into the fabric of several songs. It was, in a way, an avant-garde project in the spirit of John Cage. And then later on it says, Roger Waters says, "He was too clever, too guarded. He didn't want to give anything away. We needed people that were open and direct. He was the only person who found it necessary to perform, which was useless, of course. I thought it was really interesting that he would do that. He was trying to be funny, which wasn't what we wanted at all." So, Paul McCartney could have been on Dark Side of the Moon, but he failed. I had known that story before. But, like I said, there's so much information in this book that I find very interesting and I did not know. So I highly recommend The McCartney Legacy, Volume 1, 1969 to 1973, and I hope there are further editions. Thanks for watching and have a great day.